Oh, hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm jolly young St. Nicholas from WhatCulture.
And don't forget, you can download the news as a podcast if you're out and about by searching for WhatCulture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. But coming up today, CM Punk gives his thoughts on Hulk Hogan and doesn't hold back.
Big changes to the NWA Power commentary team.
The future of John Cena has been revealed.
Jeff Hardy is set for court on Thursday.
This is the news.
And we start off again, we're going back to me. We've done that in a weird way, but we're back to me in our main story today, which is a big update regarding John Morrison's current status with WWE. Now, for anybody who watches WWE backstage, I know, more wrestling stuff, the audacity, but they do get nice scoops. And Ryan Satin, doing his Satin Sheet spot, announced that John Morrison, I know we all kind of knew this already, but officially announced that John Morrison has signed a multi-year deal with WWE. Praise be to John Morrison and Adam Wilborn's big loving of the... Go on, what's your favourite movie he does? Go on.
Oh, Starship Pain. What was it? Was it the Shaman of Sexy?
Well,
is that right?
You wouldn't argue with it, would you?
He did the whole... I don't know, did that go through slow-mo for you or just me?
I think it was just you in your head that went slow motion for there. But yes, he confirmed this as well, John Morrison did on his Twitter last night. He fired out a tweet once that had been announced, basically saying, confirmed, I have signed with WWE. I've never been as good at anything as I am at wrestling and being sexy. I made that last bit up. And I can't wait to stand again in a WWE ring opposite the most talented people in this business. Interesting statements from our John there.
At which point I do believe CM Punk responded, you do know Will Ospreay's in New Japan, which is very good.
And Will Ospreay was like, oh, I'm blushing.
Stop it.
Not gonna lie, stop it. Stop it, CM.
Great news that John Morrison is. But I'm a huge fan of his. I think mixed emotions in terms of the WhatCulture office, in terms of his ability. I think, his promos were the real letdown when you look at him previously in WWE. I think that's improved. I think his time away in the likes of Lucha Underground and Impact and what have you has only developed him even more. I don't know what his name will be. I assume just John Morris again rather than like John WWE.
I would imagine the absolute banter of it if he's just every night Johnny Raw, Johnny SmackDown. Like, imagine him just going through whatever he's on. Johnny Survivor Series.
You know what they could do, because they love cheap pops.
Yes.
Johnny insert local town here.
Yeah, insert your town here, like just across the thing. It doesn't matter what his name's going to be. I genuinely think he's been away long enough to go and kind of refine his abilities. Yeah. He's always had the talent, let's be honest, in the ring, but it's a case of going out there and finding the character, or finding a personality, or finding a good promo set of skills, and I feel like he has sharpened himself on the independents and through the other companies.
And even if for whatever reason WWE think he's not quite to the level that we want, or not doing exactly what we'd like within promos, WWE's landscape has changed sufficiently that you could give him a mouthpiece and there wouldn't be an issue there whatsoever.
I wouldn't say
But
so.
Regardless, I think he's great. I think he should be inserted into arguably near the very top of the card.
I was just about to ask you, what capacity do you think he's going to be in?
But it's one of those, whether you think he's going to return at the Royal Rumble, is he going to return the night after WrestleMania? The options are kind of wide open for me, to be perfectly honest. I think whatever he does, he should immediately come in and feud for a title. But I would sense it's probably going to be a mid-card title, just to re-establish him. But, I mean, take your pick of the guys that are in and around that. Shinsuke Nakamura.
The guys you want to watch him having a match with, yeah.
Sod everything. Him versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes, please.
You've been burned before, Adam Wilborn.
I don't care. I'm ready to be hurt again. We'll get back to John Morrison a little bit later with your Twitter questions. There's a really good one that I want to ask you about that. Right, let's move on though and talk about CM Punk, not related to WWE backstage, but this time related to Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
now,
yes.
we kind of know over the years CM Punk's feelings towards Hulk Hogan, and to a certain extent Hulk Hogan's feelings towards CM Punk.
I think so, yeah.
But he made an appearance, Punk this is, on Windy City Live's 2-Minute Warning, and he was asked, as part of it, who his favourite wrestler was growing up, and he said Rowdy Roddy Piper, hands down. Now, the host responded that he thought that Punk would name Hogan, and Punk said he wasn't really a Hogan guy. When asked if his feelings towards Hogan had changed since meeting Hulk Hogan, he said, and I quote...
Please, this is a one-time deal that we're going to let you do this.
Yeah.
Deliver this verbatim, please.
Okay. Get ready, Ben Roy, who's editing this. I've met him, and I like him even less now.
I love this. I'm so for people who are just like, this is my opinion, and if you don't like it, well, fine. Like that, in that sense, as long as it's not over the top damaging. He's not daft, CM Punk.
No,
he knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah.
He's not made any accusations that he's going to get in trouble for. I know he's not a WWE guy. He's a Fox guy right now, but he's not, by any stretch of the imagination, towed the party line.
No.
He's just come out and said, F Hulk Hogan, I met him and I like it. I love that. You think, they had us in the first half, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I've met him and I like him even less.
Actually, it's worse now since it was previous.
That's like meeting me. Everyone hates me normally in the comments. Then they meet me and he's like,
that's
oh God.
Not true
he's like that 24/7.
Imagine that, 24 hours a day of this.
I'm working with
it's intense. This. Opposite you in the office, incredible stuff. I still love you though, so
thanks,
that's
mate.
okay. I like this. Punk's obviously not daft. He's if he says something like this, he's going to be on every major news thing saying it. And here he is on ours. Not that we're a major, but you know.
I'd say so.
Well,
and also,
if you're gonna
CM Punk versus Hulk Hogan for WrestleMania 36.
Nah, I think more likely it's CM Punk versus Hulk Hogan at Crown Jewel, is it?
yeah.
2020. Okay, oil money for the lads. Good stuff. Look in my eyes. It's money.
What do you see? A boatload of Saudi oil money.
Of cash. Shall we move on to our next story? Because there has been some big changes to NWA Power's commentary team. Now, obviously, I should start by saying that we know the controversy that happened with Jim Cornette, and they have addressed that. I'll go with that first before I give you the news. Basically, on their YouTube post last night for their episode of NWA Power, it was quoted in the bottom a little bit of verbiage regarding this very specific scenario about Jim Cornette. Just said, lastly, it's the final episode of NWA Power called by analyst and pro wrestling legend Jim Cornette. We thank Jim for his support of the National Wrestling Alliance in season 1 and his over 30 plus years with the organisation. His call of the Rock and Roll Express match is an exemplary display of his many talents, and we wish Jim nothing but the best moving forward. Now, obviously, we all know, I don't want to dive into the whole scenario. We've been there, we've done that. We know how bad it was. This is, I guess, NWA Power doing what they probably have to do in their scenario, keeping it professional. Interesting that they've decided to just make a choice and make a change, which is important, I think. But unfortunately, Adam, I have got some bad news because the new commentator for NWA Power is Mr. Stu Bennett.
Yes! I genuinely know that. That's amazing.
Stu Bennett, I deliberately kept this for him because I knew he'd enjoy it, has been announced as his replacement on NWA Power. It was announced last night on the episode. You've got Magnus with a little iPad reveal almost. Really weird, but hey, whatever happens, Stu Bennett's lovely face was there, and he will be the new commentator to replace Jim Cornette. So yes, I realise a lot of people, I know Cornette divides people down the middle. Some people are very happy about him leaving, some people will be disappointed to lose him. Well, Stu Bennett's there now, and he's an absolute, as we can attest to from our very own commentary team, as our very own general manager at one point for WCPW and Defiant, Stu Bennett, back in the wrestling game in a capacity of commentator.
I'm completely biased when it comes to this story. But this is fantastic news. Actually, he's a really, really, genuinely good choice for this. I thought he would have texted me, considering I'm his best friend.
Well, this is a true story as well. Best friends, these two.
But this is brilliant news. And like I say, it's not just, that's nice for Stu Bennett. It fits really well.
I'm glad I did this.
It fits really well. Congratulations, Stu Bennett. Congratulations, NWA Power, for such a brilliant selection.
Absolutely. Best wishes to Stu. Hope it all goes well for you, my friend.
I'm going to start watching it now.
There you go. If anyone's going to get you on there, it's that man.
Go
Lovely
on, Stu.
Get in, Stu.
Right, let's update you on the future of John Cena. As always around this time of year, speculation about what he's going to be doing. And he's going to be co-starring in another movie.
Surprise!
The breaking news. He's going to be co-starring in the movie Vacation Friends, according to Deadline. Now, no word on this
Vacation Friends.
No word on whether or not this will rule him out of Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, or anything like that, but just know that he is sticking around in Hollywood and doing very well for himself. It's going to be released by Hulu and 20th Century Fox, and it's going to star Meredith Hagner and Lil Ray Howery. No idea. But most importantly, I have found the little blurb for all this. Do you want me to read it to you?
Please do.
If you're wondering what's Vacation Friends about, the movie is about a straight-laced couple that has fun with a rowdy couple whilst on vacation in Mexico. When they return to the United States, they find that rowdy couple has followed them back home. What are they like? What japes are they going to get up to?
Oh my word, that sounds very on brand for John Cena. And to be honest, I'm not against John in Hollywood, you know.
No.
I feel like he's enjoying himself. I feel like he's having a good time. You did mention it just before this. He's got to be slightly regretful. I think I've even seen him talk about this, about the way he went on about The Rock during their feud, because he's literally, I am become death. Like, he's just now The Rock. He's following in the same footsteps, albeit at a slower pace.
I'm never going to leave this. Hang on, what's that?
I'm never going to, ka-ching!
But I really like John Cena movies, to be perfectly honest. Not like 12 rounds or anything like that, but, good movies.
Not 12 rounds.
Trainwreck, I thought it was great as a little cameo in that. And Blockers, he's genuinely entertaining in.
He's found a good role. If he goes, the role he is, it's the comedy role where he's the big guy, but he's in the comedy role. I like him there. I think he's very good at that. And I'm all for it. Why not?
Yeah, if he's in that sort of character in Vacation Friends. We'll be going to see it. Don't you worry.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully someone else who is currently on vacation, I guess you could technically call it, from WWE, Jeff Hardy, will have a good go of it tomorrow. Thursday, yes, tomorrow. Because as we mentioned at the start of this news, Jeff Hardy is set for court tomorrow. Obviously, this is in reference to the DUI that he received a little while ago. Now, Jeff's been a funny case because obviously he's been out with a leg injury for WWE for quite some time now at this point. And frustrating for him, I guess, because he just, he likes wrestling. And the time limit on his career is probably not as long as it once was, obviously. And it seems like, well, with the court case set tomorrow, basically the most we have to offer on that is that it got put off. It was initially set for, I think maybe a week earlier, 2 weeks earlier. It got knocked back due to health reasons, not exactly specified health reasons, but I assume maybe to do with Jeff. WWE are still fully expecting Jeff to come back as a performer, irrespective of this court hearing. I think as it stands, he got a 30-day ban on his license before this court case takes place. So obviously the result of that, I'm sure we will be privy to tomorrow. I really kind of just want to see this get resolved in the best possible way for Jeff, because he's a great performer and WWE still think very highly of him. They've been doing their best to help him behind the scenes, because obviously I think the injury struggle has then probably led on to other struggles, and hopefully they stick by him because there's a good performer in there who can get himself right. Yeah,
we hope all these issues can be resolved. He can or is already getting the help that he needs, and he can just get back to, like you say, doing what he's good at, wrestling in WWE and making the most of his twilight years of his career, let's just say. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE, of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from Myron Speed and relates to John Morrison, saying, with WWE backstage confirming the John Morrison signing, how does breaking these stories help/hinder the product, etc.? I'd expect the pop for Morrison at a, say, Royal Rumble return wouldn't be as big now, given it's more expected. Also, he's used the hashtag Baltimore Bastards in there. Of course, good. You to blame for that, Andy Murray. I'm glad you asked this, because I was going to ask you this before we decided to cut the news story short. Interesting. A lot of people had a similar reaction when Punk came out on backstage saying that they've ruined a potential pop for him in the future. I guess this gives you two things. It shows you what the company's view on these things are. They see, obviously, getting the ratings for this show to be an important thing. And obviously maybe see these news and press releases as more important than a performer coming back out to get a big pop from an audience at an arena, which makes for a great moment. Does it get them the numbers that they're looking for in this immediate scenario? Because that is what they're looking for. The other thing it shows me is that we've moved so drastically away from things like a big surprise. What does it say, though, about where they value Morrison? Do they? Because I think a lot of people have thought, maybe, in fact, we had a question about it on a previous news. Does Morrison turn up at the Rumble, and is that a big pop? And I said yes, because I think that's as much as a viable option for him coming back, that's what I would have seen. So I think, obviously, you can't tell me people aren't still going to pop if he turns up at the Rumble. Yes, it might have been a bigger surprise because we didn't technically know when he was back and if it would been fully confirmed. But still, it's a difficult one. I think it's WWE trying to get ahead of the competition, i.e. that it would probably get out anyway. Half of these stories do anyway. Even like that amazing, I'm thinking of like the Hardy Boys returning at WrestleMania. Yeah. There was a lot of speculation around it. It just had never been confirmed. But like we say, just because they've said he's coming back, we don't know whether he's going to be coming back next week on Raw, tonight on NXT, after WrestleMania at the Royal Rumble. So there's still that. And I think it's, in WWE's eyes especially, it's sort of a double whammy of you still get the pop, because if I was in an arena and someone said, you know, so-and-so's coming back tonight, I'd still pop for when they came out, and the fact they get more coverage of backstage and they get more press coverage.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
I think so. But, you know, it's a shame that there's not as many surprises. I kind of agree with that. Right, Nick Kearney gives us our second question today, saying, I feel like AEW's women's division is very, very weak to the point I don't care about it. It's not been booked well, to be fair. If you could poach 3 non-horsewomen female wrestlers from WWE to bolster the AEW women's division, who would you pick?
Now, I need you to be specific here. I'm going to assume when you say non-horsewomen.
Both WWE and MMA, they say.
Oh, both.
Yes,
okay, I needed that clarification there. Okay, that's narrowed it down a lot.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of... I'm going to go from the perspective of picking younger performers, maybe. I mean, saying that, Io Shirai for me is probably one of the best in the world right now. So there'd be no question there. She'd have to go.
Her just murdering Riho.
She'd have to go I think as part of that. I'd honestly, Bianca Belair would be in there for me because I've been so impressed with her run. She's quieting down a little bit on NXT, but the run where she had previous there's a star there. There's an absolute star. She's ready-made. They've cooled her down so they can try and bring other people up to that level. And I guess probably based off the back, I know this is obviously all NXT, but off the back of this, I mean, who could argue with Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, Rhea Ripley's one of the biggest stars.
Is right there now. They've pushed that as that commodity. I think you'd be hard to argue.
Yeah, I think they're pretty smart. One other name I'd chuck in there, maybe Alexa Bliss as a sort of wiser head.
Well, they've even mentioned Alexa Bliss actually themselves, AEW, so that would fit.
Could be good. Right, final question today comes from Just Seb.
Hey, Just Seb.
Just Seb.
Just Seb.
Who says, Dear WhatCulture WWE, which is very, very formal. I like that. Thanks for that, Seb. It says, do you think Ronda Rousey's potential return will coincide with the season finale of Total Divas? I've never seen this show, but the clips feel highly suggestive.
Well, dear Just Seb, let's return the favour here.
To whom it may
concern. Yes, I think that... I mean, that would be a stretch for me. I think what'll happen is with Ronda, that might be a case. I mean, they may think that far ahead, maybe. Also, I would say though, Ronda can come back whenever, I guess. Whenever she wants to, and it would be great. It would be really good. The pop for that would be big because she's such a big star. I wouldn't have that because I feel like, yes, Ronda's on there, but I think I would have her and her on there and her character in the ring. I'd try and keep the distance there because I've seen it before where wrestlers have suffered on WWE TV because their character on Total Divas or on Total Bellas or whatever has ended up blurring some lines and
it strikes me that the Total Divas character is far more impregnation vacation than I'm going to snap your arm.
Is sitting playing a bloody ukulele with Travis Brown somewhere on a farm or whatever the hell they do. Like, I wouldn't want to see it. I'd want to see it kept for a big moment and not used in that capacity. But you never know. WWE are quite savvy in those kind of things.
Number 30 of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah?
I think it's either going to be her or Ripley, probably. But better be someone good.
Dreaming. You mean it's not going to be Dolph Ziggler?
Who knows?
Who really knows, mate?
Right, let's move on to today's and finally. And normally these are like funny or silly, but I just wanted to give you something nice and wholesome because it's Wholesome Hump Day. It's a new thing.
Yep. Okay, good. You've just used 3 H's for Andy Murray there, I think, or 2 H's.
Oh, for God's sake. He's
not even 2. 1. Wholesome begins with a W. I'm just going to go. You take this one.
Anyway, Kevin Owens tweeted a lovely photo immediately after Monday Night Raw, which has been doing the rounds subsequently on social media. Basically, the moment presumably Akam and Razor dragged him out of Monday Night Raw and immediately put him on a plane, by the looks of things here. Because
the authors of plane.
Very good. He's recovered it. Right.
Good.
He immediately got on a plane in his wrestling gear, as you can see here, to fly home to surprise his wife and kids. What a lovely gesture from an absolutely lovely bloke.
From a lovely man who, it breaks my heart that I won't be seeing him full-time in NXT because that War Game stuff was incredible. But more Kevin on my screen anyway is never a bad thing. And it seems like, fingers crossed, he's being put into a position back at the top of the card where he belongs.
Yeah.
And rightly bloody so. And seeing stuff like this, man, he just loves his family. How can you not love Kevin Owens and his love and appreciation for stuff like this?
But not pineapple on pizza.
But, you know, me and The Rock share the same feelings on that. So if The Rock said it's good, can't be wrong.
fair. Let us know your thoughts on Wholesome Hump Day and all of today's news stories in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Myself and the Dudley Boys will be previewing a huge Wednesday Night War a little bit later on today as well. Plus, let us know your thoughts on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE and send us your Twitter questions as well. And whilst you're there, follow both of us. You can follow him at
It's Adam Nicholas, and you can follow him at
Adam Wilborn. My thanks to Adam Nicholas. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Ho ho ho.